We turn next to a politician whose relatively short political career left its mark on Irish society since his death. His all too premature death at the age of 47 in March 1968. Donagh O'Malley was born on this day, 17th of January, in 1921, just exactly 100 years ago today. He came from a well-known legal and political family in Limerick. His nephew, Desmond O'Malley, won the by-election for Fianna Fáil, which was caused by his death. Donagh O'Malley's main claim to fame was a speech he made in September 1966 to a dinner of the National Union of Journalists.
I'm a realist, and I had to deal with the crying needs of our young children who thirst for education so much, and so many of whom cannot afford it at the present time as things stand.
Every year, he said, some 17,000 of our children, when they finish their primary school course, do not receive any further education. This, he said, was a dark stain on the national conscience, for it means that some 1/3 of our people have been condemned, the great majority through no fault of their own, to be part-educated, unskilled labour. I believe that this is a situation which must be tackled with all speed and determination, and I am glad to be able to announce that I am drawing up a scheme under which in future no boy or girl in this state will be deprived of full educational opportunity from primary to university level by reason of the fact that the parents cannot afford to pay for it.
61,500 secondary pupils going to day schools next year will benefit by free education.
He not only saw horizons that few of us dared to contemplate.
Jack Lynch endorsed O'Malley's vision in that graveside oration. But just some months before, when Lynch was Minister for Finance in Lemass's last government, there was consternation when O'Malley made that speech at the NUJ dinner. Charles Haughey was also Minister in that final Lemass government, and in the archives of the This Week programme there is an account of O'Malley's initiative, which is of major historic importance. Its thinking from Haughey is unlikely to be reflected in government records, but this is Charles Haughey's recollection of the O'Malley initiative and its provenance.
When Donagh went into education, he was looking around, to see what he could do, how can I advance things, what progress can I make, and he found there this scheme of free education, which I think was brought forward by the department, but it was there, it was just going nowhere, lying on a shelf as it were. So it immediately captured Donagh's imagination, and he brought it along to Lemass, and it didn't come to Cabinet in the normal way at that stage.
Was it a solo run then by O'Malley?
And I have to say that my knowledge of it is that Lemass gave him the go-ahead to make a speech on it. And of course, Donagh being Donagh, got the slightest nod from Lemass. He ran with the ball and straight over the bar, as it were. And he made a speech announcing it, that it was going to happen. Now, I don't think Mass intended him to do that, but anyway, he did.
On Monday morning, there was consternation in the Department of Finance.
At the time, Jack Lynch was Minister for Finance, and Jack was down in Greece on a holiday. And when he came back, he was confronted with this additional expenditure having been announced by Donagh O'Malley. So there was a bit of a to-do about it.
More than a bit of a to-do. I don't have the Department of Finance records in front of me, but I quite remember reading the files some few years ago. And T.K. Whitaker, Secretary in Finance, himself a radical innovator, was on this occasion outraged, not by the content of O'Malley's speech, but by the unorthodox and heretical method of announcing as government policy something which had yet to be discussed, still less agreed or endorsed by government.
So there was a bit of a to-do about it, and then it all came to government. And from then on, the rest is history. It was opening up a whole new era in education. It was, giving a tremendous new meaning to equal opportunity. People like myself who came up through the Christian Brothers and on scholarships. This was a whole new world, a whole new dimension for people of working class people and people of low incomes.
It may be said that the work to which he dedicated himself had only started. The greatest tribute we can pay to him, especially those of us who are privileged to be given a degree of responsibility to carry that work on, is to continue this great work at a pace and to the conclusion he would have wished.
Jack Lynch's graveside oration concluding that feature on Donagh O'Malley who was born 100 years ago today, on the 17th of January 1921.